8:30 on your Wednesday, and we're here with Charlie O'Hara. He's here to answer any legal questions, so if you have one, hop on the line right now, 316-436-1212. He is more than happy to answer your questions. Charlie, thank you for coming in today.
Great to be here.
Really appreciate it. Something that has maybe been on people's minds, particularly parents' minds. The Andover middle school teacher who is now out of a job based on allegations from a previous student. And talk to us a little about the subtleties and maybe the not so subtle things about the line with that, and the age, especially the situation here with an authority figure and a teacher, how complicated that can get.
Well, the basic thing is if a teacher has sex with one of their students, it's against the law. And it applies to a lot of things. It even applies to, like, in the jail. We had a case here in the jail where that applied also, a number of cases. But what happens is at 16 years of age, any student is able to have sex with anybody, basically. However, because of the authority figures of the teachers, that would be against the law. So even in jail, if it was a 19-year-old and a jailer and they wanted to have sex, that would be against the law because of the authority part of the jailer or something like that. So that's what it all comes from, and it causes a lot of problems. I mean, I think people should realize that in the sexual, having sex at 16 and being legal means if you're under 16 and you have any kind of sexual relations, which would include touching or kissing with someone that's 15 too, both of them commit a felony, quite frankly.
Okay.
And I don't think most people understand that. People are in high school, and if a child gets together with another child, even if they're both 15, and they kiss or do something like that, they're actually committing felonies, and they could be charged with felonies that would be on their record. So it's something that people really need to know. That 16-year-old age is a big deal. And then if you're in any position of authority, even if someone's 18 in high school and you're in a position of authority, you're committing a crime if you have any kind of touching or kissing or anything like that.
Well, and to me, those are two totally separate issues, and something that parents really need to make sure they educate their children on. I mean, especially if that relationship goes sour and there are any hard feelings, especially with younger kids. I mean, that's something where you start throwing out other allegations and parents can get involved. I know definitely from a parent's perspective, I'm sure it's hard not to want to try and control your child in that aspect.
Well, I think the real fear is, and I don't think most people realize that, children between 14 and 16, any kind of sexual thing, kissing, touching, anything like that is a felony. And even if they're both 15 or they're both 14 or something like that, or even high school, a 17-year-old dates a 15-year-old and they kiss, technically the 17-year-old's committed a felony.
Now, going back to the authority figure issue, I know, not necessarily with this particular case, but in another case that you've maybe been aware of, how difficult or easy is it to prove that that relationship happened, especially if it's happened in the past, it's not something that's currently going on?
Well, it's like any other case. All the cases that we have are actually governed by the same type of evidence. They're going to have, the state would have to present evidence that would convince a jury that it was beyond a reasonable doubt that it happened. Now, what that evidence is, it could be someone's statement, if believed. If it's only a statement, they usually look for something to corroborate that or to support that. Even if it be like text messaging, I think was mentioned here, or things like that that indicate it happened. Those kind of things would support it. And sometimes they can do forensic tests and different things, but usually it's finding evidence to support the word of the alleged victim.
Okay. Well, I know kind of a difficult conversation, and thank you for trying to kind of walk us through that. We'll be interested to see how this case continues to develop. All right, well, we'll see you next week, Charlie. Thank you so much for coming in. We're taking a break now, but we'll be right back.